Ball weep, grog, no weep, nitty bong, my fellow addicts. This is TFA1024, the Transformers addict here. I tried doing a stream just a few minutes ago, but my iPad 2, or my iPad mini, decided to be a little pain in the neck. I'm going to try and keep the languages as PG as possible, because it's not really one of those streams. I recently spoke with a couple individuals of mine. That sounds weird. Couple individuals who follow me on Instagram, who were exposed to another depression episode that I undergo each time I get frustrated or upset, like we all do, because it's not wrong. But the point of the matter is, I was trying to do the video review, which I haven't even uploaded a video of this, by the way, or a picture. I uploaded it on Instagram, so I don't know how many of you actually follow me on Instagram, but links in my channel section, about section. But I recently just got the War for Cybertron trilogy, Siege, Wave 3 Deluxes, Brunt, Refractor, and Red Alert. I almost call him Sideswipe. And I was going to aim to get Brunt out before MGO did. And ironically, I made a joke about it with my buddy TF Customs on Instagram, saying, watch MGO get it out first before I do. And sure enough, that actually just happened, and I'm actually kind of happy, but also kind of sad, because I kind of wanted to get it out before him. But, unfortunately, that is not the case. But that's not why I'm making this stream. The purpose of the stream is to tell the tale of why I, and it's probably going to be a regret, but I don't care, why I, Michael Davis, a resident of Pennsylvania and a resident of Florida, now a resident of Florida for the past 11 years almost, decided to become TFA1024, the Transformers addict. So, let's begin. When I was younger, I didn't know much about the internet. I stumbled across YouTube one day because I looked up Transformers videos all the time, because I was really into them roughly around, I want to say, Cybertron, and that's where I got a feel for YouTube in a sense. I met some, or I encountered rather, some very talented individuals here on this platform who have made incredible projects, incredible videos, great content, and some of those individuals still do work to this very day. The very first individual I ever watched was Night/2020, now known as TFX Productions, who is the maker of the Transformers Nexus series, as well as Transformers Requiem, Transformers Origins, Transformers Episodes 1, 2, and 3. And he became someone that I was very infatuated with. He was a very talented individual who was able to take these hundreds of thousands of photos and make them into these smooth movie-looking things that we know as stop motions. And then one day I also encountered some video reviewers of Transformers toys, such as MGO, or not MGO, he wasn't around back then, P.A., Sean Long, you guys remember Sean X Long? John 3.0, and I want to say Bolt Matrix as well, and Optibotimus. And I never knew who any of these individuals were. I never understood their content when I was young. I just saw Transformers toys, and I figured, ooh, I want to learn more about this. And there were a couple times where I sat there and I was like, yeah, this is kind of boring just hearing him talk about a toy. But then seeing all these people go so in-depth with information, so in-depth with detailing on their opinions and such, it made me want to try. So when I was about, I want to say 13 years old, I got my first ever webcam for my computer, and I had an old channel that's no longer around because the big update back then really just lost it. A lot of people lost their channels, actually. It was bullshit. Excuse me. And the very first ever video I tried to do was of Universe 2.0 Acid Storm. And the video actually got well over 50 views, and I had roughly about 60-something subscribers back then. until YouTube royally screwed me. So I didn't try to make content again because I didn't have a working computer. I did not have a webcam anymore. It actually broke, and also when I got a second one, it got stolen. Um, so I kind of just waited. And that's when I was around 14 to 15 years old. I begged my parents for a phone, and I finally got one when I was 16. And I got an iPad on the following Christmas. And then I found out I can make videos this way. And I didn't even know it. And then I learned about applications and such, and I started using iMovie and Intromate and many, many other different apps that I still use to this very day to make my content what it is. And I decided to become TFA1024 because, one, TFA was just something that I was like, it sounds catchy, it has a nice ring to it, and 1024 is my birthday. It was originally going to be Autobot1024, but then I was like, that's already my PSN user and a lot of other things on the internet, so maybe not do that. Originally, the whole thing was going to be TransFan1024, but I also decided on that as being a no as well, because I just didn't like the name. It sounded weird. No offense to any, I know nowadays trans is actually a thing, but no offense to any of that. I mean trans as short for Transformers, not that, but to me, it sounded weird back then, because it's like, who calls Transformers transes? It just sounds weird. So when I finally became TFA1024, it stayed TFA1024 for a while until I was about 18 years old. So about 5 years after... Or no, I'm sorry, about 3 years after I started my YouTube channel, TFA1024. And my first... Oh my god, excuse me. And my first ever video on here was the Truck Driving Madness with Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime, which was a music video on Grand Theft Auto 5, playing as Michael, stealing trucks and such. Or was it like... No, it was online, I think. I can't remember. But that video did well. Got a couple hundred views. I was proud of it. That's when music videos were all the rage. And I was really proud of it. Everything else from there was random, spontaneous stuff, and then I met a very talented individual by the name of Epix Productions, who is still with us, but he's just known as, I think it's Epix Productions still, but I also think it's I Am Epix, I can't remember. And I met Creation X Studios and DCX Blastoff, and they taught me how to do stop motion animation, and I did it with my first ever figure from Armada, which was Armada Cyclonus. Incomplete, but I still did a stop motion, and I was proud of it. It actually did really well. And as I continued to progress with my stop motion practices, I ended up making Rising Warfare. And then I started to do Infinite Chaos, and then I started to do interviews. I did interviews with TFAN Page 101 and Larry Arts Productions, and that's how I became friends with him to this very day. And then I started to do toy reviews. And I tried to be a mix of everything. Because not a lot of Transformers content creators out there really splurge into the diverse and the different. They really kind of stick with toy reviews, thoughts on upcoming topics, movies, that kind of thing. They don't really try to do a lot more than what is doable, in a sense. Maybe they do, I can't speak for everyone, but I tried to be a variety channel. And as you have all noticed, there were some rough bumps in the road growing up. And while I'm currently at the age of 23 and I still have the childlike wonder and mentality, I have matured quite a bit, I will say that, but I am still a human who struggles with everyday endeavors and everyday emotions and such. Like, there's no escape from that, unfortunately. It happens. We're human, so. But you guys have noticed progressively through the years that content has been coming out less and less and less. And that's because of my situation with me being a caregiver for my family. My loving adopted mother and father, who are actually my bio grandparents. Grandparents, not grandparents. That sounds weird. And unfortunately, that has been really, really cutting into not only content creating, but it's also been cutting into my emotional and mental health, because I am stuck in this house 24/7, 365 days a year, and I'm very much as lucky to go out toy hunting and get these. So that's the long. That's more of the It's more the building blocks to the story. Because as of now, I tried to film Brunt's review, and video review was almost 15 minutes long. I figured you guys were going to be bored with it, and I'm sorry to assume that of you, but who wants to sit there and listen to a video for 15 minutes about a toy? Really. So I gave up. Was almost finished, and I just quit. And that's what I do. I quit. But the reason I became TFA1024 was to shed a little bit of positivity and a love and strong passion and share it with other Transformers fans throughout this amazing community. Inspired by people such as now, adding onto the list, who I already previously mentioned, now adding onto the inspiration of MGO316, Thew Adams, otherwise known as Baronetsu, is what he used to call himself, and Jobby the Hong, and TFFanpage101, and many, many, many other people out there who are creating stop motions or toy reviews or skits or whatever. I always wanted to stand out like them, because I wanted them to see what they did to me. And I mean that in a good way. I wanted them to see that they inspired me. Through my years on YouTube, I have been very grateful to talk to a lot of the people who actually inspired me. I got very good, God, I can't even talk. I got into very good, concrete communication with Optibotimus. He even sold me 2 of his figures, which I am very happy about. He helped me get the final Dinobot that I needed from Planet X. Not Vulcan. I got, Quirinus. Slug. I met also... I didn't meet, but I spoke to Thew Adams, the very guy himself. I was actually friends with him for a couple of years on Facebook before my depression really started showing, and it kind of drew him away. And I understand that. I was too personal back then. Still a little open now, but I don't care. And I'm still very fortunate and very happy enough to be friends with TFFanpage101, Larry Arts Productions, Lockbot CRM, AHM1K, formerly known as All Hail Megatron 1000, and Derivative Films, and many, many other people. I'm also very fortunate enough that I got to speak with Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer and P.A., even if it was the comment section. I don't care. I was happy about that. And I even got to speak with some people who I learned about later on, such as Team Trainwreck, who is an amazing comic dubber for the More Than Meets the Eye series. Very good, talented voice actor, and I'm very happy that I got to talk with him. And I'm also very fortunate and happy to meet Coolorite, leader of Prime Targets, and Merit Movies, who is formerly going by Transformers Stop Motion Animators, then Jam Joe Raw 06 Productions, and MK former W1N, and then TFI Creations, and crap. I forgot his name. I forgot his channel name. Steven, the guy who's making Transformers Brother at Odds on Instagram. That's going to be on YouTube. He also works with TFI Creations. And I've got to do something that I never thought would be possible. I made it to 1,000 subscribers and 1,500 subscribers, and I'm currently almost at 2,000 subscribers, even though I don't produce that much content. And that's just because of personal life and personal feelings and trying to take care of myself. And I can say that I was able to build a fan base. I was able to actually make a community, a safe haven for people of all different branches of the franchise who like Movieverse, who like Generation 1, where everyone can actually get along. As opposed to now, where there are so many different subgroups that so many people are getting toxic with each little thing of Transformers. How G1ers want it to be G1 all over again, and how, you know, Bay haters continue to, like, just rim on Michael Bay's work, to the point where it's kind of like a civil war between the G1ers and the Bay haters. It's ridiculous. You can't even so much as open your mouth anymore to say, I like this thing from Transformers, without someone putting you down. I became TFA1024 because of that reason alone. Later on, I figured out why I came here. And that is to spread some much-needed positivity within this fan base, within this community. Because if we don't start now, this community is going to destroy itself. If we're already being segregated within many different branches of this fan base, and we're not all as one, it's not going to be too long before the fandom itself just kills itself. Not literally, of course, but I mean, like, it's gonna destroy itself. And I also want to make something clear. I didn't come on here and say I'm here to be the hero of this fandom. I just want to spread some positivity, because you only have one life on this world. Why live it full of hate? It just makes no sense. Why spread the hate? You know, we all like Transformers. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't matter what it is. They're still giant shape-shifting robots from the planet Cybertron. Why not just enjoy them together? And I'm happy to say that I can have people actually tell me I'm an inspiration for why they continue to make their content, or why they made a YouTube channel, or why they collect. I was able to make an influence. I was able to leave a mark on someone. To let them know it's okay to do what you want to do, to like what you want to like, without having anyone try to bring you down. Even when people are trying to bring you down, you stay true to yourself. Because if you can't be yourself, who can you be? And I know that through my duration of YouTube, I've let myself get really personal, and to the point even where I cried on camera. And to the point where there was a giant fiasco, and it was a very stressful situation that I really do not wish to bring up or repeat or so much as reference, but it was a thing. I learned from it, and I just want it to never happen again. And while I may not produce content as much, I want you all to know there are times where I just want to give up. Because I try to make my content diverse from any other Transformers content creator here on YouTube. I try to give it my own personal flair. And I try to have fun doing it. But I can't help but also feel like I hear this nagging voice in my head asking me, why do you do this? You're a 23-year-old man talking about toys belonging to a corporation that sells these toys to kids. And I tell that voice, maybe you're right. Maybe this isn't something I should be doing. Maybe I shouldn't try to continue doing something that I love, because I know I'll grow out of it one day. But that's only if I let it happen. Transformers have been a huge part of my life. From when I was 2 years old, introduced to Transformers Armada, till now, being exposed to that of the amazing lines like Studio Series and Siege, and the great cartoon Transformers Cyberverse. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but that cartoon's actually really good. And to seeing the awesome movies from Michael Bay and Travis Knight, that part's still always going to be a part of me. Transformers have a very deep connection to me because they were there a lot more than when people were there. When I had a stressful day at school when I was younger, I always came home. I never talked about my problems because I never understood how to talk about my problems until I was a teenager. And I just sat and I played with my Transformers and transported myself into the world of imagination where Autobots are fighting Decepticons on Earth or Cybertron, or in the air, or in the land, on the land, or in the sea, or in space. When it was a simpler time. And I try to do that now. But it's become more difficult. A lot of people frown upon that kind of thing, and I'm one of the people who is kind of a people pleaser. I try to do what people expect me to do, but it also kind of sacrifices myself. And I shouldn't have to bend over to someone and kiss their ass and make sure that I'm pleasing them. I should be worrying about myself. But there were numerous times when this very thing happened and I upset the person, or I eventually lost that person. And unfortunately, it sometimes led to the latter more than the beginning. And that's why I'm so terrified to so much as even try and be myself. That's why I'm so terrified to make YouTube anymore, because looking back at some of my videos, I am very similar to Vault Matrix. I am very similar to PAW and MGO, and I don't want to be like that. But I'm also not going to be someone to script their reviews. No offense to Jobby or TF fan page or anyone else who does that. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be one to script my reviews. If I'm going to talk about a toy or a topic, it's going to be impromptu and it's going to be real. You can put acting into words, but you can't really put feeling into, into words as well. If it makes any sense. You can put feeling into. You guys get what I mean. I put my feeling, my heart and soul into everything that I talk about, regardless of how long the video length is. Right now, it's going on. I'm getting all choked up. It's going on 20 minutes, 22 minutes, and almost 10 seconds, and I'm still talking. Because I feel like it is necessary. I feel like a lot of people need to understand where I'm coming from. And if you're in a situation like myself, maybe you need to hear this too. It is not wrong for you to be you. Whether you go by a different name here on YouTube, you know who you are. Like I said, with me, I became TFA1024 to spread a message of hope, to spread a message of positivity, to spread positivity throughout this fandom. And I intend to continue to do so, but at my own leisure. Because while I do want to make YouTube a career, because working with Transformers is one of my all-time #1 dreams, it's not going to be a reality. And that's just the cold, honest truth. It's not. I could wish upon a star, rub a genie's lamp, but it just won't come true unless I work at it. And I plan on working at something. Which is why I'm going to stick with YouTube for as long as I can. But I don't know for how long. I have sacrificed a lot of my mental health and emotional health trying to make videos for you guys, because the #1 thing I don't want to ever do is let you guys down. And numerous times I have let you guys down when it came to Infinite Chaos, when it came to Union, when it came to Combiner Wars United Warriors. And now with these video reviews, I can't even stick with my own schedule that I had set, but then I also said I didn't want to do a schedule because that just doesn't work for me. And at this rate, nothing works for me. I was at 15 minutes and 30 seconds in Brunt's review, near the ending, and I just crumbled. Because I looked back at it and I just got mad and frustrated at the fact that this is another 20, almost 16 minute to probably 20 minute long video review on a 5-inch, 6-inch figure that only does so much. And I thought I was going to be able to get it done. But I crumbled and I gave up. So this is kind of an update as well, but this is more why I became TFA1024. Why I'm still here. And I'm going to do my damnedest to stay here on this platform, no matter how much YouTube decides to give me shit or whatever, because I also got a lot of copyright claims for old videos for some reason. And again, I can't let you guys down. You're my community, you're my fandom, You guys deserve the content that I make, because why else would you subscribe to me? You're here for the content, and you're here for an individual who is very different from that of other Transformers content creators here on YouTube. I know I may not be like the most hilarious or the most entertaining, but you subscribe to me for a reason. And I'm just happy you guys are here. So I hope that a lot of you understand where I'm coming from. I hope that a lot of you also understand that it's okay to be yourself here, regardless of what internet trolls or people otherwise think. What matters at the end of the day is that you're happy with how you are and what you do. So why let someone try to take that away from you? I also want to point out that I know a couple years back I was talking about how my money situation is not exactly the best. Me personally, I am technically poor. I mean, I get all my money from my folks. I have no personal income of myself whatsoever. Until now, where I actually have about $6 coming in from patrons, which thank you guys very much for being patrons. And I was really hoping I would get more of you by now, but it takes time. It's understandable. But I also don't feel right about it. But if you guys are willing to go that extra mile and support me that way, that's really awesome, and that makes me feel really good, because not a lot of people would do that. And I know one of the major issues that I have is comparing myself to others, to their success, to their position in life. But I also just can't help it. You know, I'm stuck here 24/7 in this house, and I still don't even have my driver's license or a proper job, and that's because I'm still here taking care of my folks. Now, I'm making that sound like it's a bad thing, but it's not. But I also can't help but be worried about it, because when they go, what am I going to do? And people keep telling me, well, you need to plan something. I can only do with what life's hand gave me. It's like poker. You think you're going to raise, you think you're going to call, you think you're going to fold. You can only do so much with what you have. And I'm just grateful to have a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food in my stomach, and Transformers in my collection with love in my heart. Why am I lagging? Okay, there we go. That was weird. So I hope you guys understand that this is not in any way, shape, or form meant to be drama or attention seeking or anything like that. This is just me being real with you guys, because I don't really know who else to turn to, honestly. And as far as content goes, I have no idea if I so much as even want to make an attempt to film another video, because it all just seems like a chore. And it all just... it's going to end up the same way. I'm going to want to try and do something, and I don't follow through with it. And I try. People may not think so, but I do. But you also need to put yourself in my shoes with a situation that I'm dealing with, being a caregiver 24/7, dropping everything I'm doing to go take care of them, trying to take care of myself, trying to enjoy what I love, while also struggling with manic depression. It's not an easy thing to deal with, and that's another reason why I continue to try and enjoy these giant shape-shifting robots and continue to be part of this Transformers community. Because for once in my life, I feel like I belong. And I think that's a very eye-opening feeling that a lot of people just don't feel anymore. Granted, I still don't feel like I belong with other people, like the TF Insane Asylum. I genuinely do not feel like I belong there. Regardless if they say I'm their friend, they all have their own chemistry, they all meld together well, and I'm just kind of over here like, I'm friends with them. Or even in the Transformers community alone, I know I just said I feel like I belong, but at the same time, I also can't help but feel like I kind of don't at the same time. So I'm not necessarily sure what's going to come next. But if this is going to be my last video for a while, and possibly for good, I figure why not tell you guys my story. My Autobot biography, if you will. But I definitely and genuinely want to express my gratitude to each and every one of you, all 1,943 of you, 42 of you actually, I think I'm at 42, for being a part of this journey, and all 1,950 of you on, or 990 of you on Instagram for being part of the community as well. I don't know if this is going to be the end. I don't know what's going to be in store for me, but I know for a while, if not a while longer, I'm not going to be filming any videos. I'm not going to do any stop motion because you're just going to see my hallway and it's going to be boring. And honestly, I get bored filming stop motion. That crap. You guys have patience if you're able to do that. Good lord. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for being a supporter, for being a TF addict for life, and for making me feel like I matter to you guys. Because at the end of the day, I just want to feel like I matter. Regardless if someone has to tell me that, show me that, whatever the point is, I want to feel that. And you guys, for the last 7 years on YouTube, have made me feel like I matter. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Thank you guys very much for being part of this amazing experience. I don't know if this is going to be the end or not. I know I go through this often. But I'll just say, till all are one, for now. Thank you guys very much for listening to my story, and I will hopefully see you guys next time. So this is TFA1024, the Transformers Addict, rolling out, till all are one.